Mateusz Rebecki, 7 zwycięstw z rzędu.
Couple of UFC debuts coming up this weekend. This is a Fight Night Pick special, and if you know us well, you know that we're going to go down and dirty with the matchup at lightweight. Ahead of you, we have Poland's Mateusz Rebecki taking on New England Cartel's own Nick Fiore. And Matt, when I look at Nick Fiore, this guy is a really, really interesting prospect. Yeah. He gets this fight on incredibly short notice. Now, it was announced not that long ago on December 29th that he would be replacing Umar Morales, a guy who we featured heavily in our MMA nicknames video, the Venezuelan fighter, that Fiore would be getting this opportunity. And first of all, I thought, is it pronounced Fiore or is it like Canada's calling Fiore? Like, is it, how do you go. Is it Manoff Fioro? How do we pronounce this guy's name? And then I thought back to, okay, put myself in 2022's shoes. Did you watch Midnight Mass? You taking a drink of water? You didn't watch. You didn't watch Midnight Mass, so I need to hear it from the fans out there. Did you watch it on Netflix? Because like Combe Fiore, I thought Storm of the Century and Midnight Mass were the same thing. It was the exact same thing if you've seen all of those. For Nick Fiore, though, he is not at all Umar Morales, Venezuelan fighter. Fiore is very much a Renzo Gracie black belt. And he used to train out of Renzo Gracie's in New Hampshire. And if you've ever seen a Fiore fight, it's the fact that he's going to go against his opponent, do a little bit of the striking, take you down with a double leg, get you to give your back, get you to make a mistake, and he's going to finish you. And all of Fiore's wins are by finish. And Mateusz Rebecki is cut from the same cloth. But for Fiore, this is the big difference in this fight. Combined opponent's record in his 6 pro fights, 61 and 234. And you might go, how does that even happen? Well, he fought Jay Ellis twice, and he beat him twice by finish. And for Fiore, all of his fights are with Combat Zone except for one.
How fast did he sign that contract the second time?
Well, very, very quickly. Now, one Ellis fight was with CS, and one was with Combat Zone. You might be going,
Before
well, Craig,
they could even get Ellis out of their name, he had his...
I mean, you know, Northeastern MMA is kind of in a weird spot, and I would agree with you. It definitely is. And Combat Zone is Fiore's teammates' promotion. It's Calvin Cater's promotion. So
it is, yeah.
A lot of push for Nick Fiore into the UFC. His last fight was at welterweight, and he took on a very, very bad fighter in 5-19 Stengel. He wins that fight by submission. Again, pitter-patter, takes him down, submits him, it's over. But if you do look at it for Fiore, poor level competition as a pro, reel it back in just a little bit and don't just focus on those numbers, because the last 2 wins that he has as an amateur over the anabolic Arabian Ali Zebian, a very, very good fighter that I think you're going to see in Bellator or the UFC in the not-so-distant future, and Nate Garib as well. He beat him, and those are 2 really big names to beat on the regional scene. Now,
is Joe Selecki a good comp for Nick Fiore?
I think he is, and people are going to be down on Nick Fiore, and truth be told, I'll let the cat out of the bag right now. I don't think he's going to win this fight at all.
Oh, we're in the same boat.
However, I do like Nick Fiore, and I do think he would be deserving of a shot in the UFC, but this is one of those tales of way too much, way too soon, because for Rebecki, the level of competition as a pro, 168, 54, and 3. He's the 7-time FEN lightweight defending champion, and he won the FEN lightweight belt by beating Marian Ziolkowski, the now KSW lightweight champ.
Rebecki versus Umar Morales would have been a fun fight for his UFC debut, because Morales is just well-rounded. He's going to test you in every single area of your game, but he's not really dangerous enough with that one-hit power, you know? So it's going to be a good matchup for both guys. And this is a really difficult matchup for Nick Fiore. Again, like you had mentioned, he fights in that Joe Selecki manner. If he gets on top of you, it might not be the most aesthetically pleasing style, but Fiore is a very dangerous fighter if you do leave a limb in the wrong spot. If you try to get up to your feet and you go on all fours, he's going to get your back. Like, he does have all of the foundational skill sets you look for in a grappler. The problem is, I just think it's way too much, way too soon for him, and that's the problem. Against Rebecki, I think on the feet he's going to have a lot of trouble, especially in the boxing range. I think he's going to have a physicality trouble too. I think the takedown is going to be really difficult for him to come across.
Are you kidding me?
Why?
He has a 4-inch height advantage, and he's fought at welterweight. Fiore's going to be the bigger fighter.
No, you're right, but Rebecki has this low center of gravity. He's a stocky fighter. He's going to be in under you. It's going to be difficult to get this guy to the mat consistently throughout 15 minutes, and I think Fiore's not just going to have to go out there and get him with a submission. I think he's going to have to wrestle him for a long time. That's why I say that. I just think the wrestling's going to be difficult for him to go out there and really take advantage of the matchup.
For Rebecki, when you do watch him fight, he's a southpaw and he throws hammers. Are they the most technical punches you've ever seen in your entire life?
Damaging.
Not necessarily, but they are very damaging, and he does have wind to carry him through 3 rounds, let alone 5 rounds. And if you watch Rebecki fight, he's the perfect guy to switch a camp to American Top Team. So what did he do before this fight? Switch his camp to American Top Team. So Rebecki training with the best and brightest at 155 pounds, and for what it's worth, Tomasz Narkun there as well. But if you watch Rebecki's last fight, and he took on, again, like I told you how good his record is and who he's fought, but his last time out, he took on Rodrigo Ledillo, and we spent all of our Dana White's Contender Series breakdown talking about, well, Ledillo's a one-hitter quitter knockout guy, throws from odd angles. What does Rebecki do? In the first minute, walks across the cage and takes him down. And then Ledillo gets back up, and Rebecki goes across and takes him down again. Rebecki could have fought a very, wild fight, because Rebecki was in the same spot that Jack Cartwright and Jake Hadley were in. You're a regional champ. People know who you are. You shouldn't be fighting on Dana White's Contender Series. Exactly. Albert Duraev's another guy like that. But Rebecki took that shot, but instead of going out there and fighting like a wild balls-to-the-wall type of fight in front of Dana White, Rebecki scaled it back and fought a really smart fight. He gets Ledillo down, and then he gets a rear naked choke with his body on top and his arm around him. I don't know if I've ever seen a rear naked choke like that before. It reminded me weird. A little. Remember when Alexei Oleinik was sideways on Travis Browne? That's the only other one I can think of, because it was such a unique position. Because normally, if you have that shoulder free and you can get it to the mat, that's how you escape a rear naked choke in the first place. So it just speaks to the level of squeeze this guy must have if he is able to get you in a vulnerable position. Both guys very accomplished. Rebecki with his odd angle striking, his championship experience, the high level of competition he's faced in the past. He has good wrestling offensively, and he has good jiu-jitsu. Now, Nick Fiore, again, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, Renzo Gracie's New Hampshire, trains with such great fighters at what would you call it? Lausanne's, New England Cartel, everybody that he's with, whether it's Rob Font, Calvin Cater, the list goes on and on and on. But for Fiore, taking this fight on a few weeks' notice, it is kind of a tough hill to climb. I'm going to say over-under Tapology votes, as they are a surprise to us, they are to you. I'm going to say over-under 95% Rebecki.
I'll say over.
It's under. How about that? 1,011 total votes, 91% Rebecki, 14% by decision, 14% by submission, 66% by knockout. For the 9% that have Fiore, 35% by knockout. Again, I think it's just too much too soon in a matchup like this. Fiore, it's been a small sample size. And the other thing that I have to say about Fiore, and I said he hasn't really fought the greatest level of competition. Look at all of his fights. All first round finishes as a pro. He hasn't gone, to a decision in his career, except for a fight that he had in grappling at Kasai Pro 5. And I should mention, he was a 2021 Enigma BJJ Grand Opening Tournament winner, is Nick Fiore. So I want to give all these fighters as much props as I can, but I just think, again, too much too soon in this one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Both of us going with Poland's Mateusz Rebecki to get the win. Let us know who you have in the matchup. Do you have Nick Fiore to shock the world in this fight? With some great fights on this card. Listen, Dan Ige taking on Damon Jackson. It's an absolutely great matchup on this card. You're not going to want to miss it. Keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks. We always say, let's get into it.